Bryan Gaiser is an investment advisor representative of Advisory Alpha LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. All opinions expressed by Bryan Gaiser are solely his own opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Advisory Alpha. This recording is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon for investment decisions. Investment advisory and financial planning services offered through Advisory Alpha LLC, a registered investment advisor. Insurance, coaching, and educational services offered through Gaiser Financial Group. Gaiser Financial Group is a separate and unaffiliated entity of Advisory Alpha LLC. While tax and legal services may be discussed in the general course of financial and investment planning, Advisory Alpha does not provide tax or legal services. Please consult with your tax or legal professional prior to making decisions related to these issues. This material is not endorsed or approved by the Social Security Office or any other government agency. An annuity is a long-term financial product designed largely for asset accumulation and retirement needs. All guarantees are backed by the claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. All opinions expressed by externally cited sources are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Advisory Alpha. This is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon for investment decisions. The case studies presented reflects the specific circumstances of one client and should not be considered a guarantee that another client or potential client may experience the same or certain level of results. This is for informational purposes only and should not be construed as investment recommendations or solicitation. Names have been changed to protect the anonymity of clients and are not testimonials in nature. Learn, grow, and take charge of your retirement. This is the Wealth Through Wisdom podcast with financial advisor Bryan Gaiser, founder of Gaiser Financial Group.
Thinking about how to replace that paycheck and what we can do to generate the income that we know is going to last. That is a big factor, a big element that you help folks figure out. So when it comes to our options of how to do that, though, it's an interesting conversation that I know you have with folks because of the opinions that we have. People come into the office and they look at you and they say, I don't even want to talk about an annuity. Don't tell me about an annuity. I hate annuities. There's actually commercials running on TV and radio that you may have heard saying that I hate annuities. And for somebody who has done so well as to save $500,000, $1 million, $2 million, they are still worried about the income factor. Because here's the thing about an annuity. If you're the one that's saying, I hate that, I don't want that, you might be in the minority. Last year alone, over $464 billion with a B, billion worth of annuities were sold, setting yet another record. Let's talk about the folks that are dead set against them, Bryan. How often do you meet with people that think that? And then after meeting with you, sometimes maybe even it might take a couple of meetings with you for them to rethink things once they have more information. Do you see that regularly?
You know, I see it from time to time for sure. Mm-hmm. And some of them, they're correct. They've saved so much. They've got pensions that are so strong, which is an annuity. Yep. Social Security that's going to be strong, which is an annuity. So they really already have annuities set in place, or they just have such a strong savings, you know, especially when we're talking clients 3, 4, 5, 6 million or more. Yeah. Those folks a lot of times don't need it. You know, they might have strong rental income, whatever it may be. So they're more focused on growth. Mm-hmm. I can pick off of this when I want to, and separating their funds in a way of conservative, you know, having different buckets. I got a conservative pile over here that I can pick at as I see fit. But as my strong buckets do really well, maybe I sweep some over to my conservative bucket to replenish it along with the growth that I get out of my conservative bucket. So there's all kinds of reasons. Annuity is not the answer. I don't even think in terms of annuity when folks come in. My goal is, what's your big picture, right? And sometimes where I find that annuity may fit, for instance, I met with a lady back in 2004 that's still a client. She's 90, and she has 3 annuities that we had set up for income stream because she had Social Security, tight situation. She had a nice little place. She lives about 30 minutes from here, 35 minutes around Trinity in that area, which is outside of High Point. But the thing that caught my eye, I'm like, longevity is in your family, which proved to be true. She's 90 and in good shape.
You first met with her in 2004?
2004.
And here we are in 2026.
Yeah, she'll be 91 here in June.
God bless her, yeah.
And the thing is, when we set up these annuities, they were scheduled to turn on at later dates, right? In other words, when I say turn on the income stream. And the reason we did it is because she had a certain little pile of money that she could live off for a few years. And then we'd cut on an annuity that replaced that. Okay. But we knew inflation was going to kick in, so we set it up to where another one kicked in. And then another one kicked in. Right now, 70% of her income comes from those annuities. And you know what the balance is in those accounts? 0. Really? That sounds bad, but the income never stopped. She hadn't saved enough. She would have ran out of money under traditional planning. You get what I mean?
Yep.
So we use those to guarantee your income won't. Well, it's not only that income hasn't stopped. She has surplus income in retirement, and she literally reinvests back in herself part of that money now.
Interesting.
Because everything's paid for. A lot of fruition happened, if you will,
Okay.
in many ways. And so it's everybody's situation different. I can go in there and say, hey, let's get her annuity. I want to know, what's your situation? We looked at her overall financial situation. I said, we could do A or B. B, you could run out of money. C, you might not. Well, you won't. Why? Because even if the account goes to zero, they're going to keep sending you a check. And that was appealing to her. She says, can I reinvest that money, do whatever I want with it? Of course you can. And lo and behold, that's what we did. So we stacked it in a way that now certain payments dropped off, certain expenses dropped off, and she has surplus income. So that's the beauty of it. Yeah. And she's not bedridden. She still drives. She's in pretty good shape. Yeah. She did just stop mowing her grass for the first time. And she's got like 2.5 acres. It's so funny. Yeah. I used to drive up. She'd be on that mower sometimes, because I would go out and help her in a little different way. She was just a special person. Yeah. And still is. But she's about to turn 91. But the only thing in the last couple of years that's changed is the mower. And she definitely doesn't mow it, but her son comes over and mows it.
I love it.
He just retired.
Got it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So in a nutshell, annuities aren't always the right thing. I mean, you do it for income. Also, there's growth annuities out there that, hey, I don't want risk, Bryan, but you can earn up to 7, 8, 9, 10% of whatever the S&P does in a lot of these instruments. And, just things along that line. And remember, you can get zero, but with 0 and 22 would have been great because, the market was down about 20%. Mm-hmm. A lot of people like that zero they got. So, sure. And then we're talking about fixed index annuities. One annuity, I would take the Forrest Gump route and run, Forrest run. And variable annuities, I haven't saw much, if any, good for a variable annuity. Okay. So what they'll do is they'll relate it to that variable.
A variable annuities, they've got fees. Also, you can take a loss if the market goes down in variable annuities.
All of the above, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
And so in a nutshell, that's kind of the way my thinking is. I'm like, no, you're right. You shouldn't just buy an annuity. You should never buy it. You should invest in an annuity. Well, if you're going to make an investment into an account, if you're going to make an investment into an instrument, into a financial, vehicle, that's the way you want to look at vehicles. You want to include or exclude. And a lot of people don't do that. Folks, 336-586-5861, 336-586-5861. If you like to sit down, this isn't about an annuity. I don't even go into an annuity unless you bring it up. And so in a nutshell, my focus is, what do I do to get you surplus income in retirement? How can you continue to invest in yourself? And that's really the plan that I use. It's more about, let's get surplus income in retirement. We'll work on a plan that fits you, or a plan that's set for you. No cost, no obligation. We'll sit down, and we might not even be a fit. It's not about that. It's about me sitting down with you, building a plan that works for you, and making you understand what milestones you must meet during retirement so you don't run out of money. And that's really the number one fear of folks. So once again, 336-586-5861, 336-586-5861. Give us a call. Happy to sit down with you. We're right here on Dolly Madison Road and Friendly, where they meet just about a quarter mile down on the right, maybe even closer to 1/10 of a mile.
Well, obviously, you being a local guy here in the Piedmont Triad is a very important thing for a lot of the folks that you meet. We got to go to break here in a minute, but before we do, let me ask you real quick to touch back on the idea of this annuity conversation. Some people come in, well, not some people, I'm sure the majority of people come in with opinions about all kinds of things, not just annuity, but also, other life insurance products or ideas, the market, cash, money markets, all these different things that are available to you that you've been marketed to. Make no mistake, when you're getting those links, those emails, those things that pop up on social media, you are being marketed to. But the bottom line is this: we need to get you paid in retirement. That's what Bryan's goal is through all the plans that he built, working to make sure that you have not just income, but surplus income. You harp on that idea all the time, but it's important for people to know that there are case scenarios. I want to lean into this conversation of some people annuities do not work for. You do not need them, and you are not here to push something, any investment opportunity in a plan. You're not here to push anything on anybody. You're here to create what's going to work best for that person.
Yeah, I mean, it's not about annuities. It's not about stock market. It's not about ETFs and mutual funds, and it's not about all those things. It's about, all right, here are the financial tools available to all of us that retire. How do we best maximize what you've saved relative to pensions, relative to others, your Social Security? Should you wait to take your Social Security? There's so many more variables in there. Some people want a definite pension, so we may use an annuity. Some people want to use an annuity as reduced risk, but yet have an opportunity to make above average returns. And there's no guarantee on anything out there except a fixed account. They have their guarantees.
Okay.
They're out there. You can get a 2-year, 3-year fixed annuity. Folks, it really just boils down to, it's not about the annuity. It's about looking at your big picture. It's about looking at your big picture and go, which one of these tools is the best tool to accomplish what I'm trying to accomplish? So folks, 336-586-5861, give us a call. Let's just look at your big picture. And if you want to be educated more on annuities, I'll do that. But my goal is, what's it going to take for you to have a successful retirement?
Thanks for listening to the Wealth Through Wisdom podcast. To learn more, visit geiserfinancial.com. Bryan Gaiser is an investment advisor representative of Advisory Alpha LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. All opinions expressed by Bryan Gaiser are solely his own opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Advisory Alpha. This recording is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon for investment decisions. Investment advisory and financial planning services offered through Advisory Alpha LLC, a registered investment advisor. Insurance, coaching, and educational services offered through Gaiser Financial Group. Gaiser Financial Group is a separate and unaffiliated entity of Advisory Alpha LLC. While tax and legal services may be discussed in the general course of financial and investment planning, Advisory Alpha does not provide tax or legal services. Please consult with your tax or legal professional prior to making decisions related to these issues. This material is not endorsed or approved by the Social Security Office or any other government agency. An annuity is a long-term financial product designed largely for asset accumulation and retirement needs. All guarantees are backed by the claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. All opinions expressed by externally cited sources are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Advisory Alpha. This is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon for investment decisions. The case studies presented reflects the specific circumstances of one client and should not be considered a guarantee that another client or potential client may experience the same or certain level of results. This is for informational purposes only and should not be construed as investment recommendations or solicitation. Names have been changed to protect the anonymity of clients and are not testimonials in nature.